Also, I wanted to ask you, any idea, I mean, because Stu had just mentioned that the ammunition and weapons in this cruiser were secure. His tire's going flat right now. Oh, there we go.
Well, they are secure. The weapons are secure. The shotgun, other weapons that they have are secure. There is an unlocking device within the vehicle. You have to know where that is and how to deactivate.
Okay.
But, could have been a traffic stop, and then the person jumped in and took off. It's not unusual for the officer to leave the car running when they are at a traffic stop. That may be the case. As we see, they may be coming to an end soon. You see what's happening with the vehicle, but it's very unusual to steal a police car. We've seen ambulances stolen before. This is not that unusual. Let's say it's very unusual to steal a police car, an ambulance, a fire truck, etc. But it does happen on occasion. Obviously, we see it happening right here on
Dennis, I want to bring back Stu. Stu, what's going on? He's jumping out of the car. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
Oh.
He just bailed out of the car, out of a moving car. Look, it just crashed into the light pole. Oh, my goodness.
Was this a self-deletion? To be perfectly honest, I've heard of people using cops for self-deletion attempts, right? Normally not in this fashion, you know what I'm saying? I feel like, I don't know what, the homeboy looks Spanish. Usually for black people, it's a little bit easier for us to get the cops to shoot. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. That wouldn't be a smart one. That wouldn't be a smart way. And I would think that, like, if he was going to go that route, there'd be, like, way easier ways. Like, you'd probably, like, mess around, like, probably, like, turn the car and jerk the car and probably try to spin and maybe get flown out. I have no idea.
With the vehicle, but it's very going to be that.
Stu, what are you seeing right now? I know we're blurring things out a bit because we don't exactly know what's going on, but he just bailed going about 70 miles an hour.
He jumped out of that vehicle at about 70 miles an hour, leaving that vehicle to go on its own. It hit that power line right there. They do have power lines down. We haven't seen any sparking or arcing. Officers from California Highway Patrol getting him out of the roadway. That was not a malicious act. They were getting him out of the roadway as quickly as possible. They're going to be rendering aid. You can see that right there. But this suspect clearly had some issues this afternoon. They did hear the words earlier on that he was had some depression issues and also weapons. Now that suspect bailing out of that car, we've seen some motorcycle accidents in the past. That was a lot of road rash. Hopefully he is okay. That police car taking out a telephone pole out here in the Antelope Valley area, right off the 138. You can see the car coming to a stop right there. But why this all happened, that is a big question right now. Officers from California Highway Patrol, they are working with that victim. Apparently he is up and standing right now, so that means that whatever injuries he had, that he's going to be, hopefully going to be okay.
I have no idea. That was in what, L.A.?
Yeah,
right?
It was in L.A.
That was in L.A. See, well, it wasn't in the Bronx or Queens, so he wasn't driving to a chop shop. That's probably out of the.
Yeah, I don't think there was too much. Like that was my thing. Is like if do you. There's no financial gain in this. There's no gain. There's no like retaliation in this. There's no, you know what I would say it is,
what?
If anything, is he wanted it to happen publicly. That's what I get from this. Whatever it was, he wanted it to happen publicly.
Maybe it was more of a thing because in the news they mentioned that he suffered from mental issues, but honestly, what nigga in America doesn't at this point? My thing is like maybe he thought that he could get away with it just so he could sell the weapons, or maybe he wanted access to that type of equipment, that that damn near military grade equipment. I'm not gonna lie, cops be. You go into the back of a cop's car, they got some heavy machinery.
But you know what though, it might have been a last dying wish, because like I ain't gonna lie, every time I've ever played Grand Theft Auto and I stole a police car, always a little piece of me in my head goes, I want to do this in real life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we all live out our wildest chase fantasies in Grand Theft Auto.
Definitely.
And maybe, in his mind, he sat there and thought a few times, like, yo, if I'm gonna go out, I want to do a Grand Theft Auto style, chase before I die. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that might have been his last dying wish.
That's very true. I mean, my thing is they don't set up the context for like how he got in the car.
Yeah.
They claim that the cop there was a stop and then obviously cops keep the car running, so he obviously jumped in the car. They don't mention whether like a friend was getting pulled over and then he snuck out and then snuck up on him. Like they really don't mention anything in terms of that. So I'm just curious on how he got access to the vehicle in the first place. Because in GTA, you just buzzed open a window. I doubt very seriously that homeboy just busted open a window.
Well, I definitely think it was definitely more of an act of some knowing of that they wanted to go, because that wasn't happening during his traffic stop. Like I could see the rationale in it being like he got pulled over with a bunch of stuff that he was gonna go to jail for, and but there's no way in hell that you're gonna be able to get into the police officer's car in a pullover. Because think about that, how that's structured. They're either right at your door, or they're in their car.
Exactly.
So this had to be him either sneaking up on somebody being pulled over, or a cop car just being left outside running. And you know what's funny is the officer that whose car that was, he is he's nervous when this is happening, because whatever that cop did, he unless it was like a pullover, which you have to be bold to take a cop car while he's pulling somebody over. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Whatever he did, textbook wise, he wasn't supposed to do.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is he's gonna get in way more trouble for leaving his car running outside of Dunkin' Donuts than he would for killing an unarmed black man. You know what I'm saying?
Which is crazy, but you're 100% right about that. Oh man, I just find that just so weird. I'm still curious, how did he get into the car? Like they need to explain that to me, because listen, ain't a lot of niggas getting access to my car. Like that's just crazy to me, right? Oh man, it's just so weird.
I think that's one of them things that we're gonna have to stay in tuned about. Locally, I'm sure they know already. As
definitely.
far as the worldwide, press goes, because we found out about this on TMZ.
Yeah.
They're not gonna follow up with that part of the story.
Yeah.
So we probably have to go look up like local LA Times. I'm sure by tomorrow the article will be posted on how it went down. You know what I'm saying?
And that's another thing too. It's just like, let's say it was a self-deletion attempt. Like there are way more just surefire ways to go than taking a car and then jumping out. Cause at most times, in most situations, you're probably just gonna get road rash. Like you're gonna lose a lot of flesh and shit. Like you may die, but you may not. Like there's a lot of people on motorcycles that survive terrible car crashes going 80, 90, 100 miles an hour. So to be perfectly honest, I just do not know. But all I know is between like the recent school shootings, man, people in America are losing their goddamn mind.
Yeah, they've been losing their goddamn mind. But I'll say this though, I don't think he thought that far ahead. Yeah. I don't think, because if I'm thinking about stealing a cop car, I don't think I would get as far as he did. Like he had some miles on them police. They wasn't on his tail. He had some separation between them. And I know there's certain laws too that are like they're only allowed to chase at certain, because they got to be safe for the rest of the community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So maybe a nigga's not researching that before he steals a police car. That rational level of thinking he's not going through at the moment. Yeah. But I just think it's so funny. Well, not funny. It's tragic, because even like you mentioned with the school shootings, it's like I think it's so crazy how far you can actually get. January 6th being a great example. Yeah. How far you can actually get into places that you're quote unquote not supposed to get in. I remember I snuck into Hot 97 with acted like I was part of this class. I remember I was going to Hot 97. It was when I was a young, naive rapper, and I'm like, I'm gonna give somebody my CD at Hot 97. And I'm gonna get on. And there just happened to be a school field trip going there. And I just acted like I was with the school, and I was able to get a whole tour of Hot 97, understand how it works. Like I was part of the whole field trip.
The whole tour.
And it was like an hour, and nobody ever noticed.
And what they didn't realize is that Frank had a gun the entire time. He just chose not to use it.
And I pulled it out. I was like, I gotta start playing real hip hop in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the boom bap. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where's Shawnee Culture?
Yo, that ass, son. Like, yo, I deadass pull some airhead shit in there. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna play my record, B.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, you'd be surprised how far you could get in places that you're quote unquote not supposed to be in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That just lets me know you can be on it some of the time, not all the time.
Yeah, man, they gotta, shit is real. So it just goes to show, like, I'm not, when I say don't put all your faith in the system, I don't mean, not like going to a state of anarchy, but what I'm just saying is, like, niggas put a lot of faith into the system on, like, yo, the cops will get here, or that's not real. You know what I mean? And this didn't look like a bad neighborhood at all. This looked like the desert this is the part of Grand Theft Auto where, like, you get the jetpack. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
He was in that area.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Facts.
But yeah, man, that shit was crazy. Rest in peace, homeboy. Mental health is real out there. That's my take on it.
Yeah, man. My take on it is, listen. But before you commit any crimes, just think reasonably.
Just play Grand Theft Auto.
Can I get away with this? Can I get away with this reasonably?
Like, just play Grand Theft Auto. Like,
You know what I'm saying?
Get
Like-
5 stars and see how that goes.
Like, I steal from Five Below and ShopRite religiously because I know I'm gonna get away with that. Like, I stay in my lane when it comes to crime.
You're not stealing cop cars?
No, I'm not stealing cop cars, man.
Oh, you pussy.
Maybe so.
Like, comment, subscribe. You know what I'm saying? If he was a character, which he would definitely have been Tommy
I'm
Vercetti.
definitely Tommy Vercetti. See, he knows me. I'm Tommy Vercetti. I'm not going for CJ.
No, I meant homeboy that jumped out the
jump!
vehicle.
Oh,
yeah,
nah.
I'm thinking like, what character?
He's the homie that was in the Ballad of Gay Tony. He's that name.
Yo, I never played that one.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Pretty good?
Yeah,
Anyway, shout out to y'all. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm tired.